Greetings, guys and gals. This is Jabberwock bringing you the best in esports. Today we have Starcraft 2, the CSL. This is the second set of CSU versus the University of Florida. At the top right corner on Shakuras Plateau, we have LegitOP, arguably the best player for CSU. And at the top left, we have Cheesetown as a Protoss player in yellow. So this is going to be a PvP matchup. Honestly, I think that PvP is a huge dice roll, almost to the point of where Zerg versus Zerg was in Starcraft Brood War, simply because you really just have to go for a 4-gate. You have to go either offensive 4-gate or defensive 4-gate. Either way, you've got to go 4-gate because so many players cheese. I mean, I've played like probably 8 PvP matches, and 6 of them people cheese me on. So, and that's in Diamond. So people, it's just PvP is just a huge cheddar fest. But it looks like no cheese going on for either player as of yet. Really super early probe scout for Legit there, I believe. Well, just kidding. Yeah, there's a probe. Yeah, really early probe scout for Legit, and we have the gateway going down, as well as the assimilator here. I'm gonna bring up the income tab and show you guys the harvesters because that is so important in PvP. And Artosis said something really interesting during the GSL. He said that in PvP, really all you need to do is chrono boost your probes twice, and that's all you do for the entire game. A lot of other matchups you chrono boost probes for a little bit longer, but in PvP it's really critical to get out those units, because you see things like 4 gates and such. So I've been starting to do that, and I've actually started to win more. That I have not been chrono boosting past 2 times. Probe Scout now in the base for Cheese, and he's going to be attacking that pylon, going to be followed by Legit's probe as well. Another gateway going down for Legit, so at least going for a 2-gate. Still no second gateway for Cheesetown, now just putting it down. So his second gateway is going to be a little bit more delayed than Legit's is. If we look at the income, both pretty much at even harvesters, just because he put down that gate a little bit earlier. Cheese is going to be just slightly ahead by like half a harvester, I believe. Now we see that warp gate technology being researched by both players, chrono boosting out a Zealot. Surprisingly he didn't chrono boost out something like a Stalker. That's kind of interesting. Now we see the deviation as Cheese is going for a Stalker and not a Zealot, and it looks like he's chrono boosting probes, when we'll have to see how that goes, because I believe that Legit chrono boosted that Zealot instead. Zealot now out at the front for Legit. He's picking up his second gas. Meanwhile, no second gas for Cheese. And what this is going to mean is it's going to mean that Cheese is going to have to go for more Stalkers and Zealots. Meanwhile, Legit is going to have a little bit more gas, so he's going to be able to get things like sentries, maybe 2 sentries. You don't want a lot of sentries in PvP because that's just bad. But if he has those 2 sentries with the Guardian Shield, that could make all the difference. Those Guardian Shields are very good in PvP matchups. 2 Stalkers moving out now, possibly toward Legit's base. There is a probe right here, possibly going to make a pylon in this area, and it looks like, oh man, this Stalker might get picked off, and that would be terrible for Cheese. But reinforcing with 2 more Stalkers, he's going to be able to pick off this Zealot, and Legit in a little bit of early trouble as the game progresses on. Getting that Zealot picked off, not really what you want, and if Cheese really wanted to, he could make an all-in push towards that base, as he does have 1 more Stalker. Chrono boosting out Stalkers is Legit, almost has his warp gate done. Warp gate is also done for Cheese as well, and still just going for this 2-gate with the Twilight Council. Don't agree with that really at all. I think that 2-gate Twilight Council doesn't really necessarily work. Especially it's not going to work when Immortals start coming out, or if he's going to go for Colossus when Colossus come out. Really just not the best build that you can do, but it possibly might work here. So we'll have to see. 2 Zealots staying at home at the front there, and it looks like Cheese is retreating, has 4 Stalkers and a Zealot, and it looks like we have a Dark Shrine coming out for Legit, so that's why he built the Twilight Council, not for Blink, But for this Dark Shrine, this is going to be very, very interesting. If we don't see, oh, but we see an observer coming out. We see an observer coming out for the Protoss player Cheese. This is going to be scouted, and is so bad for Legit. He's going to be so far behind. If he can do something, whoa, my mouse getting away from me. If he can do something like split his DTs and attack the front army and somehow get back here, or do something like Warp Prism drops, that could definitely even things up. He really needs to catch an eye on this observer and know that there are observers out, because that's really, really bad for him that that observer is coming out. And let's see exactly what this observer sees. It's going to scout over those gateways, going to scout the Twilight Council. Oh! It looks like he doesn't scout the Dark Shrine. The observer does not scout the Dark Shrine. Oh my gosh, that's absolutely insane. Not scouting the Dark Shrine, coming back home. If he would have left that observer at Legit's base just right outside, that would have been absolutely epic, but he did not see the Dark Shrine. So now we have 2 DTs coming out. I think he might know that something's up though, because he just pulled back his observer, and oh my god, he's blocking off his ramp, and he's just going to be just in time. Legit really needs to look at the minimap at this point in time. There's the observer, sees the DT's backing up, and knows that there's another DT there. Oh, just got a glimpse of it. Here we go. There's the vision for him. Now sees the DT, and that DT is Crocodile Dundee. Oh man, another DT coming out for Legit. But now, killing that other DT, and that's pretty much going to be it. I mean, he might be able to make a comeback with these DTs if he's very, very smart about him, but losing those 3 DTs really going to put him behind in terms of gas. He is getting an expansion before his opponent, but not really the best job there. Getting his upgrades very, very nice, but we have Thermal Lance and Colossus out for the yellow Protoss player. Also getting another observer, very, very smart of him. He wants to have 2 observers, so he has 1 at his main base and 1 with his army. Very smart. That's kind of an unnecessary assimilator. To be honest, he could have got that a lot later. That's really not going to do anything for the time being. Kind of using up minerals that he could have used on something else. So, a little bit of a misstep there by the yellow Protoss player. But we'll have to see if he's able to break this front, because he definitely could at this point in time. The Protoss player in yellow could break Legit's front fairly easily, although if we look at the income, it's just a little bit, about 200 minerals higher for Legit right now, so he is fighting his way back into this game. Really needs a robotics facility, which he is getting right now, and he needs an observer to kill off this observer. Observers are just so useful. Very good transfer by Cheese here, and now he's going to be able to utilize those assimilators to their full potential. But at the same time, we have Legit, who is only at 1 assimilator at his natural. And so still going to be gas starved, and he's really not going to be able to make up for that because Cheese has those 2 assimilators, so he's really not going to be able to make up for the gas deficit that he lost when he lost those DTs. Observer still in the base for Cheesetown. Pretty much sees a ton of stuff, sees the entire army composition, sees that robotics morphing in. Not really the greatest placement for that, honestly. I think if he went up to the front, it would be a little bit vulnerable. I like robotics inside the base, but still not out of the game. Not out of the game by a long shot. 3 Colossus are really hard to beat though, and we do see Immortals coming out. Immortals are really what are going to counter kind of the Colossus, but they're not the greatest versus Colossus. It looks like Legit might be moving out here, and able to pick off a probe, I believe. 4 more warp gates coming out for the yellow Protoss, and this is looking a little bit grim. He is going to be at 1-1 when the armies do engage, hopefully, and 0-0 upgrades for the yellow Toss. So if he's able to kind of hold this off until the yellow Toss comes in, the yellow Toss is coming in from behind. Is he going to be able to catch off? Is he going to be able to catch Legit off guard? I don't know. These armies are super close into each other. Now he sees the armies. He's going to have to pull back, as these 3 Colossus are going to do just so much damage. It looks like he's just going to keep engaging, moving his army and blinking and trying to kill off these Colossus, but 4 Colossus are just a little bit too much. Really needs to blink out of there and kind of wait it out, warping more units, keep this high ground, not really doing the best that he can. should force field right there. Really, the force field would just slow down some of the gateway units because they obviously don't work against Colossus. Blinking towards the low ground might be able to pick off a few Colossus, but Colossus are just so powerful versus gateway units, and this is definitely going to be GG. So CSU is going to be down 0-2, unfortunately, versus the University of Florida. There's no GG, just leaves the game. It's kind of BM. Make sure you guys GG. Alright, let's go to set 3. Lates.